Sunday, November 10th, 2024. So right here I'm on a weekly time frame right now. Weekly time frame up here on the left hand side, as you can see. So here's how the weekly candle expanded, and that is the week of the elections. This is what ended up happening for this week. As we see here, we had some nice highs here. This high, and then the all-time high was officially tagged. And now we don't know where this is going to head towards now, because it could keep going up, keep being more bullish, for the end of the year, create more highs, and then potentially reverse. For me personally, I'm just sitting back, chilling, studying it, because in order for me to look for bearishness, I'm going to have to switch to the daily time frame, which is what we're going to do now. And I'm going to release the drawings. Here's what it looks like with the drawings on there. So this orange section here is on a weekly time frame from this low to this high. It comes across, and this is where the work was happening. Up and down, pretty much stalling, an undecisive candle right here. Then we had this one that took this is on a weekly time frame, took a previous week high and a previous week low. And then this week, as I stated, it just failed to break this low here, the previous week's low, but then just expanded to the upside, took this high, and ultimately the all-time high from the week of July 8th. So right now we got some nice lows that are in place right here. Beautiful lows. Everything is looking really good in this area. I'm going to just hover over here so it doesn't keep highlighting this. You have this weekly SIBI back here. Again, this high to this low. That'll have to get scrunched down a bit. There we go. Got some nice lows in there, nice lows here. But if we look on this high time frame, what was price exactly doing? It was working this breaker right here. So if you understand the concepts, you know that this is a breaker here. You got high, low, and then boom, expands up to the upside. Price was working inside of here. If we get our square tool here and just measure from the high across, boom, that's what it looks like. Price working inside of it. Now I just want to take a look at what happens inside of the body. So there it is right there. Price was working at the top of this breaker candle right here, this breaker block, and expanded to the upside. So let me just switch it down to a daily time frame. Here's what it looks like on a daily. These lines, remember, these lines represent, if you've been watching these daily note sessions, these represent a daily SIBI now. This low to this high, that's what those two lines are, the gap inside of there. And then the orange is that weekly SIBI. So as we drop down to these lower time frames, you could get lost and lose your footings if you don't have everything labeled. So make sure you are labeling your stuff and knowing what's going on. I have this low marked down here. This low down here is marked. The lows right here from September 30th, which for me personally, for it to come down into this area, I want to see what happens below this low right here. Because it's a BISI that's been created right here on the upside now. We have pretty much an imbalance on the upside. Again, it could continue higher, or it can just now start to descend a little bit more and close somewhere around this area for the year, because we only have like about a month and change, just to, put it into that perspective. So, and then for the following year, because of who's coming into office and all of that, they could potentially just start to pump it back up again. Because if we take a look back here, at the beginning of the year, price was just like descended a little bit. Well, on here it's not going to really show you much, but price was super bullish, pretty much, and then started to descend around July, and then started to pick back up as it got near the elections. But we're not there anymore. We're here now, right? Near the all-time high. So what do I want to write? This is Wednesday. So look at the days, right? We got Monday, Tuesday, election day. Wednesday, results. Thursday, more results, obviously. And then the Friday candle really didn't do much because we had large expansion days, at least two. And then this one, you can consider that too. But these two right here were pretty large in expanding to the upside, which was the day right here on Thursday when the all-time high was tagged. Now, obviously, the new all-time high was created on Friday, but you want to keep that one annotated and marked because as we drop down to the lower time frames, you're going to start to realize that it just kept working around that high. So right here, I don't really have much notes. All I'm going to write is, for my files, is, weekly bias. That's it, to chase the all-time high, and then the elections results. Pushed it up there. That's it. Boom. So price left the weekly. And the daily. That's it. I don't want to complicate it. Take a picture of that, and then we're going to move to the next time frame. And this is what it's going to require. I know that if you're even watching it up to this minute marker, this seems boring, seems repetitive, right? But this is what's required to actually take your skills to the next level. Because now, like, real quick, as I was documenting all of this going down, and then price working here, and then consolidating, that gap right there, if you look at my notes, that's where the draw was this whole time. And then they used the elections to come up here to get the all-time high. Like, this is a case study now, because now that we're up here, right, and I've been documenting all of these days, all of this, all of these months, I feel comfortable now. Once I see a break below this low, I can see price coming back into this BISI right here, for sure. I'm not going to mark it up yet. Matter of fact, yeah, I will. Like, just using the white color. Right there, that imbalance now, I'll hide the drawings. This little imbalance right here is a potential draw. Once they keep working the high, probably push it up a little bit. And then once it gets below here, look, we got a nice volume imbalance right there. This is a nice area. And if it starts to go below this area, we have a lot of sell side down here. Because whoever's going long right now, they're probably like, we're good. And they're rolling their stops to these areas. So price would eventually turn and come down and tag those people. And look, we have another one right here. So now in my eyes, it's this perspective. Since this was the draw for so long, right, after it left it, came up to it, came down, and then made its way up there, like not on a smooth pass, but, pretty much chopping up and all of that. But eventually it got in there and it filled it in. I got the same feel now, like, this is going to get hit. And eventually right here, this low right here at 19,411.75, I like that. I like that a lot. That can be the next draw. Once price begins to descend and show more signatures that it's not going to want to go to the all-time high. That's just my opinion, just, like, that's it. Like, because look, on the weekly, the high was tagged. So now look at these nice lows. Nice lows on the weekly time frames. So, boom, let's put the drawings back on there. That's that. I'll get rid of this for now, but I'm aware of it. So let's go to a 4 hour now. So I marked this up as price right here. It was just playing around in this area. This should be blue, but I just wanted to use white before I drop down to this time frame. Look at this nice little BISI right here, where price was just failing to get low to it, right here. And then eventually Tuesday, Wednesday came down in the overnight session, came down. And then look at the bodies right here, right at the midpoint, respecting it. Comes up into this imbalance, comes down, and then right here, the election week is when price just started to leave this area. Failed to come down here, and then boom, just expanded to the upside to ultimately tag the all-time high. And if we measure this order block right here, we're going to find the mean threshold of the high to the low right there. Look at where the mean threshold is right there inside of the BISI. Look at where the bodies were like above the midpoint, the mean threshold of that. Nothing was closing under it, which shows signs of strength. So boom, I'm going to take a picture of that. Again, it was just like a very, very, very simple like data week. Look at that. And then this BISI now turns into an inversion. Look at the midpoint, gets respected. Midpoint gets respected right there, and then it pushes it higher. Let me download that image. And then I'm going to get rid of it because look at the weekly time frame of that inversion right there, how it was used. It just kept messing around it, and then midpoint, and then right here, one last tap at the top, and then makes his way all the way to the top. All right, now I'm going to go down to a 1 hour. And as these time frames get smaller, look at how the bodies it just colored a little bit outside of that 4 hour BISI there. Okay, so again, this was the week, how the week turned out. Midpoint of that weekly pushed higher, then it leaves the daily SIBI, and then that's it. It just runs right to the high, clean. It tagged it on Thursday at 3 p.m. It tagged it. So take a picture of that. So look at all this support right here. All of this right here. These are the things you want to look for. See this order block right here? Where is it? Where did I go? Oh, this one right here. The body. Obviously the wick works, but look at this right here. This is showing strength. Digs into the body and then just explodes higher. Here is working. Nope, didn't work there. Let me just get my crosshairs because it helps a lot. So price pretty much colors again. Like I said, look at this drop on the left, then look at the uprise to the right, and it uses these areas to push itself higher. So when you start looking at price in that way, look at this. Take it across. Look at how it's respecting that order block right there. Obviously, this one came to the midpoint of this and inside this BISI here and pushed itself higher. What's going on here? Same thing here. Look at this. These are the little details you want to look into. Look at that. That's nuts, right? Like, it should be a little bit higher. Right there. Look at how, yeah, that one. And this one right here, yeah. That's the one I was trying to move. Look at that. Right to it. Boom. That's crazy, bro. Don't mind me. This is just, my curiosity is all over the chart. And when I find things like that, based on all the studying that I've been doing and watching the content on the main channel over there, when you start to see these things, you start to realize a lot. Like, whoa, Now I'm going to go real fast and just label out all these BISIs that are standing out. Boom, we got one there. Nothing here, nothing there. We got this one here. Boom. We got another one up here. Yep, right there. Inside that block, boom. And then if I expand it higher, it'll obviously create more. But I just wanna mark those up right there. All right, 15. Let's go to a 5. What it look like on a 5? Midpoint respected, midpoint respected, midpoint. It's a beautiful thing, man. Let me just scrunch this up so that it can show me price action all the way to the path. Boom. Now I'm going to switch off and go to my different chart. And then I'll zoom back out into, so real quick, before I drop down into the earlier morning session there, when you see a day like this after a large expansion day and you start to see this, all this like wickedness, boom, up, down, boom, up, down, boom, 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 boom. And then here, towards the end of the afternoon, just pa, 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 like all of that. You don't want to engage none of this. You want to leave it alone. And look how I was respecting the first fair value gap of the session. Right there. Of the day, I mean. Boom, boom, boom. And then and it closed near the all-time high. So notice, my thing was that I started to notice how price was just hovering around the all-time high all morning. Like Thursday and then Friday into the morning session. Then right here is when we had that little descend in the AM session in London. And then it just made its way back up here for the open. In this session up here. And then it was just real sloppy. And those are the signatures. When you see this, that it's just candles overlapping each other. Like look at this bullish candle and then look at the bearish candles. It's just bam, bam, working, bam, 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 bam. Not really giving you anything to work with. Once you see that, don't over leverage. Take a small position, take a micro, see what's going on, and get a feel. I like to do that. I get a feel for it. And once I see this, I'm like, oh, I'm done. And then obviously I'll come back later. And this is how I was able to catch this little small play right here because I seen this imbalance here. And when price came back, I was trying to get a fill right here, but I ended up getting a fill down here. And I got a little bit greedy. I was assuming this low was going to get tagged, but, you know, not actually understanding like I should have just targeted the first fair value gap. So these are things, you know, mistakes happen. But as it was doing that, I was rolling my stop and it took me out in profit. So, you know, because price was wicking out, bugging out like that. Because eventually it did come to the low, but at what time? Right here. At what time is this? At 3:50. And I was trading this at like 3 o'clock. I wasn't going to wait with a wide stop for that to happen. Like, nah. This is horrible price action right here. Boom. Let me just take a picture of that. Just because, you know. So I just want to write that the Friday price action was that's it. That's all it is for me. 2 large expansion days. So That's pretty much it. All right, so down here, this was Friday stuff, yeah, in the morning session. Where's that midnight open for Friday? See how I was just consolidating? Friday right here, working the high. See that? Working the all-time high. Picture of that. That's it. That's all it was doing. And work the high. Work the high. Let me see what it looks like. So a lot of huge gaps. Clearly, I'm gonna just take a picture of this. Let me hide all my drawings. So price was just gapping up. Gap down, gapped up, gapped up, gapped up on regular trading hours. So we have a lot of liquidity in these areas. So let's see what it's going to open up later on at 6 p.m. and see what price is going to do. Because if it tags a high, you expect a reversal to the downside. So it tagged a high on Thursday and Friday. So let's see if they're just going to do it today in the Asian session to come back down a little bit, retrace, catch these lows right here. Now I'm going to just pop back out to the daily, save that, and come here. Come out here real quick. Daily time frame. So that's it, you know, like, let's see how price opens up at 6 p.m. There's it's Veteran Days tomorrow, so it's a bank holiday. We can take a peek at our calendar here. Here's what the week looks like, bank holiday. Then we have FOMC on Tuesday, like just a talk. Then we have Wednesday, we have core CPI. So a lot of volatility will be in the market Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So there's a lot of volatility for the rest of the week ones, like from Wednesday forward. So those are the days that I'm going to definitely be looking at the market. Obviously, I'll be looking tomorrow, but for my notes and stuff like that. But those are the main days that I'm going to be focusing on. And let's just see how it behaves below these lows, and if this BISI right here is going to be a nice draw, or they're going to keep pushing it higher, which they probably will. They're excited. They want to pump it up, probably separate it real far from this area, and then bring it down here to tag all of this stuff. So that's it for me. Hopefully you enjoy this. If not, whatever. I'm just letting you know that this is what's required, and YouTube is my hard drive, and that's why I store all this stuff to watch it while I'm on the go. So you have yourself a good Sunday.